Hey, yo, guys, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Well, you've seen a lot of my gameplay lately. The reason for that is a little bit busy. Things are crazy right now, aren't they? I'm also busy in personal life, blah, 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 blah. When I do replays, it takes me twice as long. I have to watch the replay, think about it, and then I'm going to do my video. When it's my replay, I can basically remember the game and I can talk about it as I go. But anyway, got a little bit of time, so we're going to knock out one for LP Bronco. And this is going to illustrate the hit point changes at tier 5 and 6 below as well, but this is a tier 7, 6, and 5 game, and LP is in his 3001, tier 6, German, is it a medium or heavy? What is this? We're going to shoot this guy and bounce. Heavy, it's a heavy tank. Comes to the middle here on Pilsen, spot into the north, and then we just get the Muppet Show. I mean... I don't particularly like this spot. The reason is that the only time this spot is important is if something bizarre like this happens, where all kinds of people just show up. Look at this guy just staring at me. There's some kind of shield that LP has developed for his German tank, because they are going to have a heck of a time hitting him. But he's shooting through this little tiny V right here in the terrain, which, look at this. I don't know if he knows about that or he just found it, but look at that little dude right there. Not a lot of his tank exposed, although I think some of the bottom hull is exposed, although you can see the rubble falls away right there pretty well. Very interesting spot. But anyway, going to that spot, the reason I don't like it is you don't really usually have a lot to do. In this game, he did. So it may have been his intention to go here and see what's happening, and then if there's nothing happening, flex over, meta flex over to the west side. But he doesn't have to, because he has this. I don't know. Nice shot. When you have a big game, usually RNG is in your favor, or the enemy's team is in your favor, meaning they're not very smart or they're not very good, or a combination of both. And then you take advantage of it. That's really how big games happen. I've already cranked 928 damage out of this thing. 928 damage, and there's nobody gone yet. I really don't know what this KV2's plan is, but but he executes it poorly, whatever it was. Churchill comes out. We get that guy shot in the side. I think I'd have just pushed out and killed him. I was a little bit unsure why you didn't go after him. Maybe you're worried about the AT tracking you, or the KV2. But the KV2 had fired, and I don't think he was going to come around the corner that fast. But it doesn't matter, because the Churchill gets put out by somebody else, and then you find the KV1 to put another shot into. Then one of the cool things about this tank at tier 6 is it is running around with an 88. At 220 damage, and he's got a lot of gold, so we're definitely shooting some gold here. But 220 damage for a heavy, and at the reload that this thing has, it's pretty good tier 6 tank. Gets his gun taken out, takes a little bit of damage from the AT7, who would seem to just have a machine gun on that thing. I don't know if you notice how fast that dude was firing. Nice job seeing the Hellcat show up and switching. Looking for a shot there. We kind of stand in. Boy, that KV2 is going to be really... And then he doesn't shoot. This guy is unreal. I don't know what... Wow. I'm not really sure what this guy's doing. There are 2 KV2s in this game. The other one hasn't been seen yet. So we'll just watch for him to show up. And so far, like I've been talking about, there have been shots here, but now's about the time in the replay where he's going to want to start thinking about doing something else. Hellcat gives him one more shot potentially here. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. So the KV2 comes out. Now the AT7's had enough of LP, and has decided he's just going to drive around and shoot LP, but LP shoots him first, and down he goes with 217 alpha. I don't know if that guy, I don't know. I have no idea why he did that. It was very strange. It was a tier 7 TD, one of the better tanks. Looks like maybe he had the stock gun, because he was only pumping out, what, 70, 50, 90 or so, 93 and 77. Yeah, so that guy was, poor dude was running around with a stock gun. So now there's KV1 there. The AT8, interestingly enough, a higher number in a lower tier. It actually goes AT8 and then AT7. I don't know. No idea. Is driving around in the back. He sees him. So now we're going to move around and look for some more hit points. Maybe the KV1's going to come out. Doesn't look like he does. The guys in the factories have done all right. The guys over on the other side have actually pushed down into the southeast. So this is one of those games where you're winning on all fronts, and it's time to get in there and clean up. I might have moved out of here a little bit sooner than this. I probably would have been in the factories, to be quite honest. Rarely do people push across the big factory, and if they do, they're easily countered. But there was a lot of hit points. I'm going to go back to that. You play the game you're given, not the game you think is going to happen. You can start with the game you think is going to happen, and then you meta flex from there. I like this. Just come around and shoot this guy. I wouldn't have driven up on that. I'm going to talk a little bit about this move right here because I think it's a good move. I don't think you have the turn rate to get yourself turned around before you went up and over, and that's fine. But what you do is you push in, and then you stop. What I'd have done is just let the turret track and go right by this guy. And maybe it was a case of you knew the shell was going to be ready and you didn't want the turret to come offline. But, and it's not a huge factor here. In fact, the KV-2 just shot one of your guys. Did he just kill him? I'm not sure. One of the things that happens when people stop like this is the follow-on guys get jammed up. Now, they weren't too close, but you're looking to create as many angles on this HT number 6 as you can. You might have been thinking about the KV-2 and the guys over there and you didn't want to put your side to them. But I don't think that was a huge factor right there. And then we kind of get jammed up with the KV-2. So had that gone on any longer, I think the little traffic jam right there, when you're going to pass somebody, try to get past them. Unless you have a compelling reason not to. You may have, if that's what you're thinking was those guys over there. That's noted, got it. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out. Food for thought for people when you're passing somebody and creating angles. I see this a lot. And I'm not saying that's exactly what happened here, LP, but I see it a lot of people just stopping because, hey, I got my shot. Well, if they continue to go, they really make that guy fight two different directions, and that's going to improve everybody's chances to take that guy down as fast as possible. Because sometimes on those passing moves like that, especially if you stop or the guy gets a lucky bounce and a couple of your low hit points, sometimes you can lose on that. So you want to get rid of him as fast as possible. I'd have been ready immediately to take on that KV-1. I'm not really sure why you're looking over here. I'd have just, my gun would have already been online. I don't know if you would have got the shot because he died pretty quickly as you cleared this rubble. But to be honest, I'm not really sure why you're looking over that way. There's the other KV-2. He's on pretty good hit points. All right, decision time. Everybody look at what you got going on here and decide what you're going to do. Okay. What do you think is the biggest threat in here of coming back? Which tank? Which tank is in a better position to cause you a lot of problems and has the gun to do so? The AT-8 is minorly dangerous if he was in a bush and he had everybody in front of him, but he's got multiple people around him. Very unlikely he's going to do much. I think, LP, for my money, you go over here and you start worrying about how you take out this KV-2. He's probably not going to pen you. If he does, that's a bummer, because he can take you down with the 950 Alpha. I think that's what it is, 900, something like that. But you're probably going to eat one shot, and then you can DPM this guy down. And with a little bit of smart play, you can take a 200 or 300 hit point shot and still DPM the guy down. I was a little bit curious. You may let us know down in the comments down there why you really went after the AT-8 and prioritized him. I thought the KV-2 was much more dangerous. Your KV-2 is sort of wandering over there. Your M6 is wandering away. And you've sort of let this guy hang out behind you. I try not to let people get behind me. And I know that you are sandwiching this guy. So, I mean, as far as the way this was executed, this was real nice. You come in behind him. He can't fight everybody. Really nicely done. You get another 234 off him. He tries to turn. And down he goes. So that was good. Of course, I said all that, and those Muppets were all still sitting up top. Why they didn't just push down and take him on, I don't know. Looks like maybe they were waiting for you to come around the corner. And then the KV-2, where is this guy? We're going to speed this up. There he is. Oh, he killed your KV-2. And that's what I'd be worried about. Guys going at him one at a time, very low hit points, letting him get those one-shot kills or one-shot finishes. I don't know, why is that guy shooting? He might have been trying to blind shoot into the bushes or something. And highly unlikely he's going to take out all whatever there is left of you. 8, math in public. We go after the Arty. Not really sure what you're doing there with the gun. Maybe you're trying to get an auto aim on him. And we're up to 3,498. And they're capping at, hopefully somebody got a mission done. That's all I have to say about that. However, there may be people on the cap going, you know what, it's KV-2 on high hit points, and they kind of left them back there, so screw them. I'm gonna win by cap. Or maybe they're just done with this game. You never know. And we are done with this game. We're gonna find the KV-2 right at the end. There he is. So he just turtled up and sat there with his 439. Looks like maybe your KV-2 got a piece of him before he died in there as well. So that was the only thing I had for that. I might have gone after the KV2. I feel like he had more hit points anyway to give, really. And I thought your other guys had that AT taken care of. But as it turns out, it's a win with 2 kills, 3,498 damage, 704 assists. Interesting positioning early on. Worked out because that's where shots were. Stayed there until the shots weren't there and meta-flexed somewhere else. So nicely done, man. Overall, I appreciate you sending. I think it's a good example for everybody. Look at that, 3,400, 3,500 just about hit points of damage, plus 700 assists. So 4,200 combined damage in a tier 7, 6, and 5 game. And while that wasn't impossible before, it happens a lot more now with all the extra hit points that are out there at these tiers. Both your tier 5s and your tier 6s will have more hit points than they used to have. So pretty interesting, actually. It's anecdotal, but I've seen enough examples at this point. I think I call it anecdotal, and you know, we need the science. But the fact is, there's more hit points. So, so clearly, logically, there's going to be games with lower tiers doing more damage more often. Right? I think that's how it works. All right, guys, that's all I've got. We will see you.